Well, what is up, everybody? So over here today, I want to talk about this post that I find extremely interesting. Is the gaming industry looking is the gaming industry looking bleak right now? Are we going for another gaming crash? I don't know. It's definitely looking like a dark time in gaming, especially with these newer games releasing, and they're releasing buggy, unfinished, unoptimized, poorly unoptimized, like with Jedi Survivor that just released recently. Highly anticipated game. People big Star Wars fans were anticipating that game, but the game was badly unoptimized on all versions of the game. The PC port being the worst of the three. It's just playing badly on all three, and it's like that's unacceptable. But the game is getting like high review scores. Like even with the bugs, the glitches, the game is still doing really well in review scores from these different outlets. So and we already have the reports of people spending less money. Like this, we have this article right here, this new article. Sony's outlook on PlayStation business this year missed expectations of analysts. Toyo Security's Hideki Yasuda says data show PS5 users are not buying new games, a concerning thing for the platform. So they're buying new consoles, but not buying new games, which is not good, because if you buy the console, sure, but you're not buying these brand new games, as we see as well with this one. Data from Sony and Activision indicates that higher game prices are leading to fewer game sales. In this article, I've outlined how the new $7 price point for video games could be adversely impacting game unit sales. So games are selling less than they have done before because of that new increase in price, and the games just being so buggy and unoptimized. Like, why would you buy these games day one? Like once again, the Star Wars game is $70. It got the price increase, and it's running terribly on all platforms. So why would you spend? Why would you go out and spend your hard-earned money for that game that's not running poor? It's not running as it's supposed to be. So, and even with Redfall, people are outraged about Redfall, which it's like it kind of is. Like it should kind of be outraged. It's running at 30 when you have these brand new consoles. It could be running at 60, but it's not. So it's like the game industry is not looking too well, because like this is the current trend. The game industry release their games unoptimized, buggy, glitchy. Then they release a patch, and then it's like you get the patch after you probably played the game already. And it's like, for what? It's like, what's the point of buying these games early anymore, or buying these games day one, or even pre-ordering the game? It's like, what's the point at this point? Why would you do that at this point? They're just gonna release buggy with glitches and stuff like this. And so he made this post. At this point, I honestly think it's better to start buying games 12 months after they release. I think that's a bit of a stretch. 12 months is kind of ridiculous, but I get the sentiment. Definitely waiting a big chunk of time after the game release, maybe 2 to 3 months, and then experience the game at that point, or when a game is heavily discounted as a sale. Because I've been doing that lately too. I've been waiting for these games to have sales, especially because a lot of these games, like I said before, they release in a not great state, and it's like you just spend 60 or $70 on these games, and they're not in the optimal state. And you're probably better off if you waited, and then you get the game patched to like to the releases supposed to the state that's supposed to release them from the get go. So by that point, the game is likely where it needs to be for a certain price tag with the bug fixes, optimization, and content. A massive bonus for being able to pay 50% off too. So yeah. The only reason you would want to spend full price is if you can't avoid the FOMO, you just gotta have the game day one. It's like, but then again, you're like a beta tester. You're the beta tester, people who waited for a sale, because as you play the game buggy and unoptimized, people who waited for a few months got the game at a better, all patched up, better frame rate, better performance, and pay less money too. So it kind of feels like you're being ripped off buying the games day one. It's actually supporting developers as they cry about people buying their games used, but they release games buggy and optimized though. So it's a weird conflict there. Like they want us to buy the games day one, but in return we get games unoptimized and buggy. So it's like it's weird at this point in the game industry. So it's definitely not looking good, because once again, people are bragging about how great Sony is doing, but once again they're releasing one game this year, one first party game, and people are bragging about Sony's PS5 sales, but once again they're most likely buying these games which are unoptimized as well too. So they're supporting this this negative trend of the industry so far. We're bragging about it. So it's definitely a weird time period we're in the gaming industry right now. I stopped buying games day one since The Witcher since 2020. I've been against several hard games and paid for day one double A's or indies now. Game Pass is the answer. Yeah, at least Game Pass is a solution to it. If you want to spend that $70 or for $60, you can at least get the games in Game Pass, these brand new releases, You're not paying that huge of a bill for it. So, but people hate Game Pass though. They say Game Pass is gonna end the industry. There's a Game Pass effect where people don't buy games anymore, which is kind of thing across the industry right now. Like I said with that previous one, that that's supposed to hurt people buying less $7 video games. So this is platform. This is a whole platform wide thing, not just Xbox, but people hate on Game Pass when it's saving you money from buying these unoptimized, unfinished games. Um, Remember no pre-orders? Yeah, I stopped pre-ordering a while ago too, especially because you put your money down for a pre-order and the game be buggy. I remember I got burnt with Mass Effect Andromeda. I pre-ordered that game digitally on a PlayStation store. And when I played the game was trash. So that's another reason not to pre-order too. So pre-ordering is kind of bad in general, unless you like some type of amazing pre-order incentive, like some type of bonus incentive. But other than that, pre-ordering is not good at all, especially if it's a digital pre-order because you're super screwed if the game is trash. Um, I never buy games release date anymore. Everyone I have purchased except Modern Warfare 2 has been a broken effing mess. See, that is the reward you get for buying the games day one, a broken effing mess. Like, who wants to do that? Like, why would you spend $70 or $60 of your hard-earned money, and it's even more at other places, and you get a broken mess? It's like, it just sounds depressing right there. Like, you can spend your money on a whole nother hobby at that point. You just wait for the games to go down in price. I rarely buy games at launch, except for from Software's titles. Take my advice, wait a couple months and buy a used disc game from Marketplace for 50% off. I buy them, then resell after I complete the game. But then again, like, I don't understand why they just don't reduce this game price. Like, if people are gonna wait for the game to go on sale, I just don't get it. Maybe the game industry just fish for people who can buy the game day one and then just reduce it to the price it probably should have been before. Like, I just don't understand why they just don't really reduce the game price for a lot of these games. But been doing this since 2014, and that's why you should never pre-order. I buy a game on launch day, on the day or the day after. Always wait for reviews and all the check too before buying. Okay, so the vast majority of people saying they agree with this ideology of not buying games day one. But then again, you can see Sony fanboys bragging about how Xbox gamers don't buy games. But it seems like this is the same thing for everybody who's playing games right now, who's in the know of the game industry right now. They're waiting for games to go on sale. So I don't know why Xbox guys get ridiculed for this. When it's like it seems like everybody's doing this, waiting for games to go on sale because of how the industry is right now. So but for Dead Island 2, pay $70 and I beat the game and play literally all the content 100% in less than 3 days. For people like myself who love zombie-related games and for a long time fan of Dead Island, the game felt so dry and didn't justify the $70 whatsoever. Trying to avoid spoilers for a year though is annoying at that price. I mean, if you got other hobbies, if you're not on the internet like that, you can avoid spoilers. Like, you got other hobbies besides gaming, you can do those other hobbies until the game goes down in price. I'm pretty sure you're gonna avoid spoilers by doing that. So, I made the decision like 2 years ago. Yeah, people been on that train of not buying games day one for a while now. It seems. Buying, and he has a picture of the pirate laughing, so we know he's insinuating with that, like about still in the seven seas. I wouldn't go that far. Like, I do think these games need to be supported, but I'm also not in the notion of buying these games and then releasing buggy on unfinished. Like, I'm still not, like, I don't agree with that, but I don't agree with just pirating the games either, to be honest. Buying a video game at launch, no thanks. Buying a video game in a sale after multiple fixes and quality of life patches, free post-launch content has been added, and an expensive trophy guide has been written. Yeah, a lot of people on this wave now buying games after the release, after they get a sale. So I don't know. It's definitely interesting to look at the game industry right now and see what people are thinking about it right now with this whole price point increase, some other price tag. Like, when you see on social media, it's like it's weird because you see certain people, like I said, most of the Sony camp say, "Hey, they buy all these games," but in reality, they're not. From these different articles that are being released, they're not buying as many games day one. And like the blame, like the shift the blame on Xbox fans, saying, "Hey, because of Game Pass, you guys don't buy games." But it seems like across the board, people are not buying games like that because of how burnt they have been from the developers and the publishers of these games so far. So definitely interesting to think about. This post is definitely thought provoking with this post. Like had to make you think a little bit. Like, is it even worth buying games day one at this point because they released Buggy? There's always some type of controversy about how the games is unoptimized. Like once again, Jedi Survivor, a big game people were anticipating, unoptimized, is badly unoptimized upon all the versions, all the platforms, and even Redfall, another highly anticipated game, is not releasing at an optimal frame rate. So it's like, why even why even play the games day one, or why even buy the games full price for day one at this point? When I just wait for it to sell and then just enjoy yourself at that point when the game's gonna be fully patched at that point, and just you can save money as well. So definitely want to see your thoughts about this post. Definitely want to see what you're thinking about this. Leave a like if you like this video, and it's always thanks for watching, and peace.